Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, KGeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to One Piece Netflix live action remake. We are now on to episode 6, and episode 6 is called The Chef and the Chore Boy. So the last episode was really fun. We had our crew show up in this mystical bar in the middle of the ocean, which is clearly a place that a lot of pirates frequent. And of course, Luffy was just looking for food, where we met another character by the name of Sanji. And Sanji is an amazing chef, but he's being held back because the current head chef of this restaurant has his way of doing things and does not want to change. And Sanji is getting very frustrated because he's doing things that he wants to do in the kitchen and not really letting his creativity be stifled. And we all know that Luffy just cannot resist somebody with a dream who's not letting it or have feeling like that dream's being fulfilled. So he kind of sticks around with Sanji and, you know, gets to know him a bit better. On the other side of things, we see that Nami is looking at potentially leaving because she realizes that Luffy has got more ties to the Marines than just being wanted as a pirate. She's trying to stay low, so she tries to leave or makes arrangements to leave, but we see at the last minute she can't do it because she has actually developed feelings for her crewmates, and she's, you know, she's still very much shady, or not shady, she's still very much suspicious of them, but, you know, she's got the connections now. She can't just walk away. And then we see that Zoro gets the challenge of his life because the greatest swordsman, the current living greatest swordsman, is a pirate. And this pirate was actually hired by the Vice Admiral to find Luffy and bring him in alive. But of course, when Zoro sees who he is and figures out who he is, he challenges him to a duel because of the promise that we saw a couple of episodes ago that he made to his late best friend. And they have a duel, even though this man kind of lets him know, like, dude, I don't think you're ready. His friends try to say, I don't think you're ready, but he don't listen. So they have the duel and he gets spanked hard, but his determination and the pureness of his desire to become the best swordsman and to best this pirate in the art of swordsmanship is enough so that the pirate decides not to take his life and instead says, I want you to train up and get better, so when we meet again, we gonna do this. So that's kind of where we left. He did leave Zoro, though, with a decent enough wound so that he doesn't forget the lesson, but also probably as a reminder to make sure he does come back and revisit him and never forget him. So that's where we ended the episode. Zoro's not in the best way right now, and Nami is deciding to stay with the crew, and Sanji is probably in huge trouble from his head chef because he used the kitchen after being banned off the line. So lots to get into, excited to do so. So let's jump into the episode. But just before I do, if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I do reactions here to TV shows, movies, animes, all kinds of good stuff. So if you're interested in watching me do that or just watching this journey, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And if you like this video, I would love it so much if you gave some love to the like button as well. It just helps the girl out a lot, and I appreciate it deeply. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now.
Drop him. I didn't. He's really heavy.
That's right. Really he's got that thickness.
Where's he bleeding from? Everywhere.
Uh-oh. Luffy's got some trauma. It's one of the first times we've seen him not look very happy-go-lucky.
Someone needs to go back to Baradier.
I'm really not hungry right now, Nami.
Not for food. Maybe one of the customers is a ship's doctor.
He got into a fight with this warlord guy, but he lost. And now he's bleeding from everywhere.
Well, they really don't care.
Wait, and where do you think you're going?
Help Chore Boy's friend.
Brunch is not going to prep itself.
Yeah, but you always told me to feed anyone who's hungry. I don't see how this is any different.
Fine. And a fresh yellowtail in the cooler. Bigger the better.
Yellowtail?
Just do it already.
Just do what he said. He's listening to you. All right, so this chef's a bit blustery, but I guess he's got some respect for Sanji. Oh, wait, what are we doing? It's like, well, have you ever had food on a living table? Clean stitches.
Fish skin. Fish skin helps staunch the wounds, heals the flesh a lot faster.
I don't know if that's true, but maybe. Good to know if it is.
You have to find a way to keep him tethered to our world.
Oh, wow.
Talk to him.
Man, be philosophical. I thought you just made steaks, sir. Get a lot more than you thought at the Bertier.
Nice of you to announce yourself.
I thought this was a conversation we might have privately.
Right? Get your little lapdog out of here. You don't have your dog hat yet. So gonna eavesdrop.
I decided to let him go.
I specifically told you.
Told you.
Indeed.
I would still do precisely what I want. No more and no less. And what I want is to see what becomes of that young man when he enters the Grand Line.
Huh.
He's here. What he said? Is he laughing?
Maybe your grandson will be the one to find the One Piece after all.
Oh, oh, oh! Look at that. The tea being spilt. What you gonna do with that now, hey, Kobe? Bro, are you okay? Why do I think Kobe's gonna pick all that up?
I'll take my dinner in the mess hall tonight.
Yeah, I would think you would, unless you plan on eating on the floor.
I just thought everyone would be hungry, man. Plenty we didn't use. Never waste food.
Oh,
Very true.
I love fish. I just need to get Sora ready for him. You know? For when he wakes up.
We like it, optimistic attitude.
There's an itty bitty chance he might not wake up.
Sora's the
Sadly,
strongest fighter that I
Usopp
know.
has a little bit more practice
ways
with
in
this,
Wexham.
but I guess so does Luffy.
Maybe he just needs some water, right? After all that fighting, he must be awfully thirsty.
Luffy does not deal with guilt well, does he?
Zeph once told me that making decisions is what separates a captain from the rest of his crew.
Yep.
And he was one of the best pirate captains that ever sailed the seas.
Seth was a pirate?
Yeah, captain of the dreaded Cook Pirates.
Of course.
Were you on his crew or something?
Not exactly.
Backstory! Passenger ship Orbit. 9 years ago.
Gotta get the texture just right.
Villa, what? This is a ship's galley. You're never gonna serve fancy stuff like that.
Well, let's watch me.
Pirates? We're gonna get out of here!
Just leave the child. Okay, sir. It shows us what kind of man you are. That's right. At least Sanji grabbed a knife. I mean, it's one way to polish your shoes, but there's so many better oils, you know? Not spice melt. That's right. The nerve of you.
now how do you want to die? Quick or slow?
Okay, I'd rather die than have you season my food.
Period.
Better than anything you can make, you old shitbag. You're gonna
Oh,
do what you want.
sounds delicious.
But I'm not gonna die here. Not until I find the old blue.
What does their new plant know about the old blue?
Why are we having this conversation? See, that's what happens when you threaten children. I mean, Sanji didn't deserve that, but for real. But that was a great line. I'd rather die than have you season my food. Oh, there's so many applications for that saying.
They're all dead. Except for us.
Dang, that's divine punishment for him.
We wait.
Oh, well, you know, looks like a spot that'll definitely get hit up soon.
This is all the food we got. So eat slow. There's no more after this.
Why do you get the bigger one?
Because I'm 3 times your size, that's why.
Like Sanji. He's spicy.
You should be glad that I'm giving you anything at all.
Why?
Now go over to the other side.
Dude, you're the one who kidnapped a child. Look at you yelling at a child. But how did he even get up there? That's the question. Oh, I guess if the sea was raging, but you need some high-ass waves to get you all the way up there. And there was no way he was climbing that with a child. The magic of cinema. Wouldn't advise it. Wouldn't advise it. You need a hell of a running start to clear those rocks. Where's the water? I see there's food in this bag, but wouldn't they need water? Especially with the sun beating down on them? And they can't drink seawater. They can't even reach it. Alright, took some stock. Sitting in the morning sun. Sitting on a rock on a bay. Wasting time. Oh yeah, that would be rainwater, right? Alright, they'll be okay then. I forgot about that. In this case, it's a blessing. Y'all gonna be cold and shivering, but make sure you find a way to collect some of that. 25 days? My lord. Kids graduated college, probably start shaving? In the dark and in the rain. I was gonna say even a signal fire, but it's too wet. Yeah, no, sorry, honey. The odds are not good right now. I can barely see you. Bread's looking mighty musty. But you know, they say if you're hungry enough, you just ignore the taste of the penicillin, right? No, my baby needs some moisturizer and sunblock. How you gonna put out the palest boy in the world in the sun all day? Hair ain't got no melanin, face ain't got no melanin. His freckles be freckling, poor baby. Oh my gosh, this kid is checking out of life right now. He's like, you know what? It's been great these 10 years. I really do think he... 50? Oh my gosh, no. He's gonna be delirious soon. All the water's evaporating. 70? How? Okay, this kid's superhuman because you can't live that long without food. You can go, I think they said 2 weeks max. I think they said something like 5 to 7 days without water, and that's like if you're not moving at all. And he's in heat, so no.
You won't give me any. I'll kill him myself.
Okay, go get your food, boo. But yeah, and then with food, I think they said it's 2 to 3 weeks tops with no food. And that depends on how big of a person you are. That kid, skinny kid, no way. No way he lasts more than 2 weeks without food.
You still have some food. You gotta give me some.
Wow, he gave him all the food.
Where is it? Where is it?
Or almost all the food, because again, how did he survive 70 days?
How are you still alive?
He ate his own leg? Jeez, I don't think I have the will to live that much. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to live that bad. I don't want to live that bad.
You ate it.
You gonna judge him right now?
You ate your own leg.
But should we have to talk about it right now?
You don't even know me. Why would you do that for a stranger?
How do they make me feel bad for this pirate?
I have been searching for the Old Blue my whole life. But now my time has come to an end.
Decided that leg ain't that tasty, huh? Don't want to go for the other one.
The Old Blue is real. It's real.
Ooh, say that, delirious and full of man meat.
So I'm gonna need you to live on. And I'm gonna need you to fulfill that dream.
He's like, I'm still not past the fact that you ate your own leg. I'm gonna need a minute.
Will someone lose a limb to save your life?
Yeah, are you willing to eat your own leg, boys?
He could have let me die on that rock. Instead, he acted like a captain. He made the tough call.
His stories were always grand adventures that sounded like lies.
What did you read into
No one
him?
told his king,
You didn't even like him 2 episodes ago.
and most of the king's soldiers perished on the journey.
She's like, this is the worst story ever. Sorry, skipping to the end.
Can you imagine that? He's in a whole city of gold.
I don't think that was the point
Nope.
of the story.
Nope, always miss right over Luffy's head.
Sometimes, when you're in charge, you have to make the tough decisions.
Yeah.
Why does everybody keep saying that?
Because you could have saved Zoro.
He didn't have to fight Mihawk, but you
Ooh.
let it happen. Why didn't you stop him?
Could he have, though?
You could have tried to change his mind.
I would never do that.
So you'd rather see him like this?
Ooh.
We all have dreams, but we outgrow them.
It's not really what you think. Don't you have a dream? But isn't there something that you want? Something more?
The way he always turns anything that could be any type of blame away and back onto the person about their dreams is actually quite legendary. But this really shows the difference in how men and women think, though. Like, men are very much about that. Like, you got to get hurt, you got to get out there and do things, which is not a bad thing. But it's the caregiving, you know, the women, the coddler, the nurturers are always like, no, you can't just go out there willy-nilly. He needs Nami's energy just a bit.
Luffy is my grandson.
Yeah, you eavesdrop all the time.
Trying to build him into a proper Marine. He resisted me every step of the way.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be.
I spent time with Luffy. I know how his mind works.
So do I. What's your point?
Right? He's like, I actually would know better.
He thinks for himself, no matter what anyone else says.
That's my fault. I was too easy on him.
So, it wouldn't have mattered.
Were you?
How many assassins you send after him, he'll never change. He'd rather die first.
And what do you suggest? That I let him be a damn fool pirate?
I mean, you kind of don't have a choice. He's an adult.
Muster the Marines on deck. I'll address them at afternoon watch.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why you're smiling. You have no idea what this man might say. You see how Luffy's unpredictable? He gets it from someone. I'm sorry. Is that a shark? Or is it that pirate that's a shark? Because there is that shark-faced pirate dude. And if he swims that far, well, actually, yeah. Oh, wow, there's many of them. They're sea demons.
Who's hungry?
Not me. I'm good now. Perfect.
No one leaves except you.
That was excessive. You could have just asked.
And I own the East Blue.
No one owns a sea. Not even a fish man.
Well, that's about to change.
Okay.
Once you give me what I want.
Oh, I'm not interested.
Straw Hat, you say?
Never heard of him.
No. That's not familiar.
Maybe I might just start adding some of these nice folks to the menu.
I'm really not all that tasty, high cholesterol, extra salty. You won't like it. You won't like it.
He hasn't said a word.
Well, he is in a coma.
Speak from the gut.
My God hasn't been so great lately.
Oh, we're finally having a little moment of self-reflection.
What do you got to lose?
Talk about food, if that's what it takes.
Hey, Zoro!
Oh, God.
Let me start over. I'm just gonna... Hi, Zoro.
That's better. Because that energy was, woo!
It's...
Luffy! Luffy!
You've ticked somebody else off. It's just another Monday.
And the map. Those fishmen will tear this place apart if Zeph doesn't turn him over.
Where are you going?
If Peroya is in danger, I need to be there.
All right, I'm coming with you.
I'm with Nami on this one. I'm really not trying to ruffle any feathers or...
Right, he's like, I don't fight. You might have noticed that I hid last time.
I can't let innocent people get hurt because of me.
No, now we finally know that lesson. Growth. Oh, yeah, attractive. Do you know fish that eat meat? Because they really don't.
You never seen a fishman enjoy a meal?
Nope. Never want to see it again either.
You to sit at the same table as a human. They want to be treated as equals. You dare stoop so low.
Bro's like, I just needed a job to feed my school of children.
I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I hear you're looking for me.
I'd like to see you try to take a bite out of me. It'll be really funny.
You know, I was expecting someone bigger.
Oh. Right?
From Arlong the Saw.
Why would you wear such a huge hat to swim in underwater? Wouldn't that just be heavy?
How do you even know how to find me?
I told you. I've got eyes and ears everywhere.
Ew, gross, yuck. See, this is why you should not keep that hat.
You heard everything?
Everything. And that got old quick, because you shit-idiots have no idea what you're doing. Hey, Lips! Come on, give a clown a break! Oh, wait, no, not back in the bag. It's so dark and wet and sandy.
Listen here. If you bow down to me, I might even let you serve in my kingdom.
Yeah, no,
bow
see.
down to any man.
Exactly, I'm never.
Or fish.
Exactly. Either one.
You're gonna have to fight me for it.
Then let the fighting begin.
Not in the restaurant. Outside, please. Oh, that was probably not a smart idea. Bitch. Kick a man with a peg leg? What's wrong with you? Oh, well. My spirit animal, because I was like, I didn't even want to come. I'll be honest, I didn't want to come. Yeah, he would have told him about your abilities, boo.
Get up!
Yeah, you better. You started this, Luffy. He's like that tickled.
Not bad for a human.
Next. You haven't learned he can catch your hands yet? Well, at least you took it out of the restaurant. Thank you. The rest of the patrons, please continue eating. Drinks on me.
Because I always end up hurting the people closest to me.
This is the one time you leaving with the map is actually probably a good idea, sis. Luffy, just wrap yourself around him. That's all you would need to do. But his confidence is a little shook too. Even though our girl Nami had points, she kind of hit him in the soft spot, you know? Luffy, if you end up in the water, you know you're in trouble, right? That's the downside of this being outside the bar. And that's, yeah, he would definitely destroy you in water. Your problem is that your wind-up takes way too long, bro.
How about a drink?
Yeah, you're forgetting where you were, Luffy. This is good. He needs to learn some of these lessons. This is the hubris of youth, unfortunately.
I have it. I got it for you just like I said I would.
Not me.
I was never on your crew. I only joined up with you so I could steal the map.
I don't believe that.
That's because you only believe what you want to believe.
That part's true.
Why waste your time killing a devil fruit eater? Let the sea do it for you.
She just saved your life, Luffy. Although I don't know if he got a bitten through that neck anyway. Although Luffy did get cut, so the powers do confuse me. Ever since even the anime, I'm like, really? The only thing that should be able to happen to him is like maybe concussions and stuff? Come on, Sanji, gonna need you to jump it, or Usopp, someone who can swim. There we go. Yes, completely unnecessary topless shot as well. We appreciate.
Where's Nami?
Gone.
She's a member of Arlong's crew.
All right, we'll just give you a minute to cry. Hi, APAC. How are you doing? I'm okay. Not the right time.
So our mission has changed.
Two.
No more half measures. No more soft targets. The Straw Hats and their captain will never surrender. We will capture them.
Alive or dead?
And they will be brought to justice.
How are the gloves? Okay, that's pretty much our mission from before. I mean, not that I want him to actually go after Luffy like full cannons or anything, but I don't see how anything's changed.
So get out of my restaurant now.
I've already told you I'm not going to be a waiter.
You're not going to be anything, not if you stay here. I did not save your life so you could waste it at Baratier.
I really have to give props for the fact that the mustache is moving as he talks.
If it means that much to you, go find it.
Do you want me to quit?
Yes.
Is that what you want?
Quitting is staying here. It's one thing to have a dream, it's another to go after it.
Yeah, well.
How did he like watch these scenes and not just kind of laugh at the mustache sometimes?
Fine.
Love you. That's basically what they were saying in that scene. Just very aggressively.
Those fishermen guys were tough.
They are.
You would have loved it.
Would he? Would he made sushi out of one of them?
I lost the Grand Line map. And maybe I will lose you too.
Setbacks. They're a part of life, friend.
I need you, Zoro.
Nice.
You better keep talking or let me get some sleep.
He's whoa, Luffy.
Zoro?
Still injured. Oh my god. Okay, how's her breath? Ow! Ow!
I had the strangest dream. That Nami left.
She did.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Don't let him.
Like a captain.
We got a good we got a good moment of self-reflection. Let's let Luffy sit in that for a second.
I, Roronoa Zoro, vow to stand by your side from now until the end.
That's right.
Until we find the One Piece or die trying.
That's right. He's like, you said you needed me.
You're my captain, Luffy.
Yeah.
And I'm your first mate.
Aw, sweet.
Zoro!
Easy.
I wasn't worried for a second.
It's alive!
Really, Luffy?
Sent them swimming for their lives.
Scared him off, huh?
We're going after Nami.
Well, she did save your life.
You think we brought too much?
You know who you're sailing with?
Right. This kid never stops eating.
Heard you guys need a cook.
Yeah! Yes, we do!
He's like, I was gonna eat all the meat in that barrel raw. You saved me from salmonella and all the other things you can get from meat. Yeah, one dapper chef. You're not even gonna give your Papa Bear a hug? I get it. It's a bit of a weird relationship. Look at him all glassy-eyed.
Hey, Sanji!
Yes?
You keep your feet dry. Goodbye, Zeph. You know, all these years, living under your shitty roof, cooking at your shitty restaurant, I owe you my life.
That's as fuzzy as it's gonna get.
Thank you for putting up with my shit all these years, old man.
The fact that he had to say that from a boat away.
I'll never forget you, Zeph.
Goodbye. You could have fixed my leg before you left, but okay.
We're going after Nami, but how are we gonna find her?
Yeah, we don't even know where she is. I know someone who does.
You've got connections? All the secrets you have, Luffy, are just rolling out one by one. Oh, they forgot. I guess they didn't need you anymore.
Hello, boys!
Why is Buggy growing on me? He shouldn't be, but he kind of is. He's much funnier now that he's not actually under the delusion that he has any kind of control or power, I've got to say. All right, guys. Well, that was episode 6 of One Piece, and I like that. It was a great way for us to get more information on Sanji. Like, we did get an introduction last episode, but now that he's joining the crew, we now got some backstory on how he came to be in this restaurant, how he came to be cooking under Zeph. And I think it's really interesting that, you know, the story of kind of, I don't know, I guess it gives us a really good idea of what we can expect from Sanji's character, because all we saw last episode is that he obviously has gourmet tastes and that he's a good fighter and that he's got a lot of, shall we say, verve, a lot of vim. You know, he stands in what he wants to say and he doesn't back down easily. But this episode showing his backstory of how he, first of all, has always had a passion for cooking and always had the dream of going to the All Blue because of all the spices and all the cool stuff there. But more that he, you know, has this experience where he's shipwrecked with a pirate that was known for being pretty terrible back in his day, right? Always had blood on his shoes. And this pirate ends up saving his life. But poor Sanji had to go through 70 days of trying to survive on this rock, literally, with barely enough food to get through, barely enough water, heat exposure, dehydration, all the things. And you see that he discovers that Zeph, who told him that he had a bag full of food and sent him off with the food, you know, Zeph told him, don't bother me unless the ship comes, right? Don't come back. And the reason was because we find out that Zeph actually gave him all the food and he kept the rather useless treasure. And eventually he got so hungry that he cut off his own leg to feed himself. He'd rather do that than go over and ask for half a loaf of bread or one can of food. And it's very interesting because, again, with this, you know, the pirates in this show, which I have to say that in the anime, the pirates, like outside of Luffy, of course, they're not very three-dimensional. Like, they tend to be kind of in and out of Luffy's story, and some of them have a little more story, but for the most part, they're kind of, flat. And that's fine because it really isn't their story, it's Luffy's. But I like that they're giving a little bit more layers to some of these characters, even if they are temporary in this show. And we see with Zeph that even though he was literally pointing a knife in a kid's face, when he was on the ship and threatening him, although, by the way, I don't think he actually had any intention of actually making good on that threat, he was willing to sacrifice his life, really, because even eating his own leg, that was only going to last for so. You can only remove so many limbs before you would have died. He's lucky he didn't die of infection just removing the limb, truthfully. So he really did risk his life to save this boy who he didn't know from a hole in the wall. He'd have every excuse, most people would say, to justify letting him, not make it. But he didn't want to do that. He felt empathy for this boy and was willing to do it to a point where he was willing to sacrifice himself to show that empathy. So even though Zeph was gruff and we saw he was very loud, blustery, very controlling, it seemed, it was all cover, right? Zeph's actually quite soft. I mean, a man that's that passionate about cooking clearly had spices on his on his lapel. He had a, what do you call this? A sash of seasoning that he kept with him everywhere. A man like that is not passionate about taking out other people, right? He's just out there. Like he said, he was out there searching for the all blue. And because of the way the waters were, I'm going to assume he became a pirate for survival more than anything else. But it just shows again that he has a deep amount of care and compassion for people despite the gruff pirate image. And this is kind of what Luffy has been trying to reinforce to Zoro, to Nami, to anyone who has anything negative to say about pirates. He's like, well, no, we're not all like that. And there's sides, there's layers to these people sometimes. And so anyway, seeing that Sanji had to go through this really rough lesson in survival at such a young age, the tenacity that shows, the determination, the resourcefulness at such a young age is, it tells us things about Sanji that I'm sure are going to become much more relevant and useful as we watch his character go through the series. But it also shows the very complicated but beautiful and strong relationship that he has with Zeph, and why he keeps coming back and he stayed working at this restaurant, listening to this man tell him that his cooking is terrible and kicking him out the kitchen every other day. But anyway, I really like seeing that backstory a little bit because, again, it just gives us some insight into Sanji. And then, of course, we see in this episode that he also knew how to do, an on-the-fly medical attention for Zoro, because he said there's no doctors here. You'd have to go 2 days away to the closest place that has a doctor. So thankfully, he had his ship medicine that he was able to administer to Zoro. And again, the fact that he did that, because remember, he wasn't going to. And then when Sanji's like, why are you helping? He's like, well, just like you just said before, you feed a man who's hungry, right? So this man needs medical attention and I can give it. So I like that. Like, it just shows that Zeph is not the way he looks, right? He's gruff. He looks the part of a mean man, but he actually has a lot of empathy and a pretty good code if you think about it. But anyway, we see that Luffy, this is the first episode that we saw Luffy kind of talking about him now, doubt himself a little bit, right? He's been very sure-footed up until this point. But this episode, between Zoro almost getting killed and then Nami just being very upset with him, she's been upset with him pretty much since the grandfather thing, but this was kind of like another tick on her bad side. And then finding out that this pirate is coming to, these fishmen have come to this restaurant and are threatening to hurt people because of him. He's just starting to think like, oh my gosh, like am I making a bunch of mistakes? Am I actually wrong for all this? Is my dream wrong? Is my ambitions wrong, right? He really starts to question himself. And as I said in the episode, I do think that some self-reflection for Luffy is a good thing, because while I'm 1,000% for his absolute clarity of vision and wanting to go after it, you do have to take a moment sometimes and actually think a bit about the repercussions of what you do. And not in the sense of like, oh, I can't make a step because of all these, but more of, if I do make a decision and things don't work out quite well, I should take a minute and reflect on what went wrong so I don't keep making the same mistakes. And that's more what Nami was kind of trying to drill it to him. Like, of course, she was being way over the top with it because of her own insecurities, but she was bringing up some valid things about how Luffy, if he's going to be a captain, he has to think more holistically about the crew and not just about his vision and how they're going to help him get it, if that makes sense. So I mean, a captain, that is his job too, to help the crew, you know, get the whole, you know, vision going. But you also have to care about their individual needs and their welfare in order for that to happen. And that was kind of in the background of Luffy's mind. Like, even when he said, oh, I didn't think that Zoro would lose. Like, that's literally just the most innocent. I didn't think he'd lose, right? So he just needs these people around him, I guess is the point, because Luffy's job really is just to have the vision and to support the vision and to be that positive energy. But he definitely needs the Namis and the Zoros and the Usopps to a degree to kind of help level out his thinking and reality and expectations, and more importantly, his worldview, because he really doesn't understand much about the world, right? He's only been on the water for a few months now, and he clearly was not getting a lot of information in his little corner of the world. So anyway, I do like that we saw, like I said, that he had a little bit of self-reflection. The doubt part is just natural, but I'm glad he's not staying there for too long, because again, for someone like him, and again, what makes Luffy so special is that he has that unshakable faith in his vision. And that's really what has drawn his crew to him. So it was just good for character development. Now the only thing is that Nami, as we saw, was working for the Arlo? I can't remember his name. I think it's Arlo. Arlo's crew. She's been part of Arlo's crew. She's even got the tat. She's been hiding it the whole time. And we see now that she was trying to leave, but when she recognized that Luffy was not going to run away, she did what only thing she could do to save his life, which was to pretend she was still on mission. And she takes the map, leaves with these guys, but of course tells him to throw Luffy in the water, knowing that somebody is going to fish him out, right? Because again, I'm not sure if he'd actually be able to bite through a rubber neck, but it's better that he didn't try, right? So anyway, so she did save his life. And of course, we see that Luffy was a bit upset, but you know, Luffy being who he is, did not want to believe and refuses to believe that Nami wasn't really connecting with his crew. So he's going after her. I really had fun with this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching it with me. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.